Good morning. My name is Priidu Ristkok. I'm working in Estonian Ministry of Finance. On behalf of Estonian Ministry and Estonian Presidency of the EU, I welcome you to ESPON Seminar, Transforming Territorial Thinking Through Digitalization. I'm happy and positively surprised that so many of you have registered and also joined us today here in seminar in Tallinn, a medium-sized city located in one of the smallest EU member states in the northeastern border region of the Union. ESPON Seminar is the major regular event of the program, taking place twice a year, and it provides a ground for discussions between policymakers and academia on issues related to territorial development of Europe. In the first sessions of our seminar, we will discuss the topics that are very relevant for my country. Digital transition has been the wide horizontal priority theme for us throughout the Estonian presidency. Estonia, with 1.3 million population, can be called in some sense a living digital society, with internet access defined as a social right and majority of country covered with fast broadband. We have a large community of ICT companies and wide variety of private e-services developed. We also have fully functional e-governance, in principle only electronic administration. Central government, but also state public services are widely digitalized and local public services are closely following. All this is resulting in a wide usage of information and communication technology in all parts of society. Estonian digital society has been developed on the basis of unified infrastructure. In 2002, we introduced National Electronic ID card that was accompanied by mobile ID from 2007 onwards, by which inhabitants can access public services, authenticate themselves and give digital signatures with equal right to paper signatures. During the last 15 years, all administration and majority of public services have become available also electronically. Nowadays, our citizens can enjoy public e-services like electronic tax declaration, e-voting, electronic medical records and prescriptions, and so on. It is estimated that 2% of GDP is saved in Estonia due to digital signature every year. The other cornerstone has been the development of data exchange layer for information systems called X-Road that was developed in 2001. In Estonia, we are gradually opening up more and more open data sources like e-business register, land register, spatial GIS data, address data systems, national and local government accounting data, just to name a few. And we are putting more efforts to develop cross-border solutions. For example, data exchange between population registers with neighboring countries, supporting the usage of foreign digital IDs, also services in health and transport sectors. We could say that Estonia's e-solutions have resulted in high level of transparency and accessibility in government, safe, convenient and flexible exchange of private, government and corporate data, better educated population with easy access to various services, that is very important, especially in sparsely populated rural areas, and also prosperous environment for business and entrepreneurship. Since taking office in November 2014, the current European Commission has placed greater focus on transition to fully functioning digital single market by making it one of key EU priorities. As a conclusion of Tallinn Digital Summit that was held in the end of September this year, the heads of the member states agreed to bring governments and public sector fully into digital age, improve public services to citizens and businesses, and contain costs and promote innovation. Furthermore, they share the vision to make Europe a global leader in cybersecurity and European Union the ideal home for businesses and innovators. They also agreed to work to empower and enable people in the digital age as well as to invest in the growth of digital economy. A great deal of knowledge exists in terms of what is going on in Europe as a whole and at national level. However, there are significant knowledge gaps on the progress of digitalization in different European regions and cities. Developing place-based ICT solutions and digitalizing local public services is growing in importance for urban regions as a precondition for their competitiveness and their functional integration, and for guaranteeing citizens' skills, access to services, and policymaking. Digital single market of the European Union, when fully facilitated in urban areas, has a big potential to improve quality of life of European citizens and increase competitiveness and growth of European cities. ESPON program has prepared a study for the topic of digitalization of public services in regions and cities. The study concludes that 90% of European Union city services have improved as a result of digitalization. 40% of cities witnessed a substantial increase in uptake of specific services as a result of digitalization. And 1 out of 3 cities has seen a substantial reduction in operating costs as a result of digitalization. However, the study also reveals that the development in this area has been different across European regions, and great disparities are visible between small and larger urban regions and cities. Today at the seminar, we are going to discuss the topics of digital transition and shrinking rural areas. But during the rest of the seminar, we will also have interesting sessions on various research projects and their messages to policymakers. And tomorrow, of course, we will look to the future, the territorial future of Europe and the coming work of ESPON program. I am looking forward to the ambitious agenda of the seminar, and I wish you active involvement in the discussions and many, many fresh ideas to take home with you in order to introduce changes for the better. Thank you for your attention.
Good morning. Dear ESPON friends, I'm very pleased to welcome you today at this ESPON family reunion on behalf of ESPON EGTC. Today we meet in Tallinn, the capital of what the Wired magazine described as the world's most advanced digital society. Estonia was lauded as the EU champion for the provision of digital public services in the recent Digital Economy and Society Index of the European Commission. And e-governance in Estonia clearly demonstrates the ability of digitalization to change territorial thinking. We have gathered today more than 200 territorial analysts and policymakers from across Europe to join this debate. Imagine us here in the room as applicants for the famous Estonian e-resident program that made headlines in the press worldwide, including The Guardian, The Wall Street Journal, and the Forbes. This is the first program in the world designed to entice entrepreneurs from all around the globe through a digital identity issued by the government. It allows them to easily set up and run a business in Estonia. If each of us today would sign up 100 times for this program, you would get the feeling of the vast interest of entrepreneurs from Europe and around the world registered within 1 year only. If we ask as to whether digitalization can change the conventional territorial patterns of business making, the answer is yes, of course, it already does. With data as the capital and broadband as the infrastructure of the 21st century, businesses can afford to elude the productive strongholds that traditionally shape territorial patterns. In the European Union, digital economy is growing at 7 times the rate of the rest of the economy. The internet businesses create 5 jobs for every 2 offline jobs lost. And there are 7 million jobs in the ICT sector in Europe, as it is estimated that half of productivity growth derives from investment in ICT. These are certainly figures that have the gravity to change the traditional territorial patterns. Yet, the differences in accessibility of digital infrastructure and capital adds to territorial disparities. As the 7th Cohesion Report points out, the digital gap between urban and rural areas represents a major challenge. In 2016, only 12 million rural households in Europe had access to the next generation access broadband. More than 60% of rural households exhibit a technological disadvantage as compared with more productive urban regions. Back in 2011, ESPON had released an analysis of the internet infrastructure and usage in the EU regions. Expectedly, the regions with the highest concentration of IP addresses were metropolitan areas and capital cities. And a large number of rural regions at the same time across the EU exhibited low or moderate internet penetration rates. And these are the territorial imbalances that lead us to the roots of the territorial cohesion concept that will also be discussed in the framework of this seminar in Tallinn. It postulates that no European citizen should be disadvantaged in terms of access to public services, housing, or employment opportunities simply by living in one place rather than another. Yet, the territorial cohesion has not been sufficiently recognized in policy making, and moreover, very often we hear accusations that this concept is too vague to be understood and implemented. And researchers have been looking for ways of translating territorial cohesion objective into an easily comprehensible and measurable concept. Still, it is being perceived as being quite far away from the realities of life and the real needs of European citizens, although it is quite the opposite. Territorial cohesion, if understood and addressed correctly, can help bringing Europe back to its citizens. And nowadays, more than ever, Europe needs to be back with its citizens. And it can only be done by addressing the needs of people in their places and building their sense of ownership of their places. And this is what we mean by the sophisticated term of territorial cohesion. That's not rocket science. The Committee of the Regions has repeatedly alerted European politicians that fears of Europe are in fact caused by spatial divides and can only be overcome by a better understanding of the spatial dimension. And this precisely reflects our mission within ESPON. We fully subscribe to what Fabrizio Barca conceived almost a decade ago, the place-based development concept. The nucleus of this concept are the European citizens and the places they live in. And in our European Territorial Review that we have just released just 2 months ago, we call for investments in place-based strategies, functional areas at different scales, and mainstreaming territorial cooperation is extending the experience of Interreg. But no investment strategy can lead us to the bright future if we don't understand what is the future, what we want to achieve. And the way to do that, we believe, is to well-devise and well-articulate a long-term vision. And one of the newly launched ESPON activities, the Territorial Reference Framework for Europe, which seeks the answer as to what should Europe's territory ideally look like in 2050, and where are the possible pathways that would lead us there. So let us hear and discuss more about it tomorrow. Participation leads to ownership and trust. And that is the glue that Europe at the moment needs the most. I'm therefore very pleased that this high turnout today, and look forward to an open and very inspiring dialogue and debate with all of you. But of course, the digital world opens many more opportunities for participation. Therefore, I would like to also invite our online audience to actively participate and to contribute to the debate using our audience interaction opportunities. No matter where you are, please join us. We designed this program for you, for this one and a half of the day. And we are very grateful to the Estonian presidency for assisting us in bringing you all to Tallinn. So please enjoy today and tomorrow, and thank you very much.